Hello, everyone. This is Felicia Bender, the Practical Numerologist, with your numerology forecast for the 9 personal year for March 2023. So I'm going to start out with a little bonus information as we walk into this month. So here it is. If your life path number, another of your core numbers in your numerology profile, is the same as your personal year number, the year itself is very it's very special. It is highlighted as a significant and special period in which you get double the pleasure and double the triggers, double the opportunities and the experiences to develop this mastery and this deepening level with your overall life path purpose. So you're going to be getting this playing field that is set up absolutely exquisitely and perfectly for you with your thematics that are going to be really, really up close and personal. So if you happen to be a 9 life path and are in your 9 personal year, so if you're listening to this forecast for the 9 personal year and you also happen to be a 9 life path, this is for you. So it's going to put you to the test and ask you to up level your life with the key elements or themes of your life path, which we could see we could, put it into this context, which has to do with leading with your heart on all levels. It's about keying into your quirky creativity. It's all about devoting yourself to humanitarian efforts, large and small. Happy really practicing kindness, empathy. It's also about selfless service or doing what you know that you want to be doing just because you can't not do it, right? The 9 is that very higher level of universal wisdom and caring and giving that goes with that. And not only with giving, is with forgiveness also is one of the key elements here. It's about embracing the idea and fact that every fantastic thing and every difficult thing is indeed temporary. It's about completions. It's about endings. It's about letting things go to let new things come and play their role in your world and in your life. So that's among many, many other things that we could highlight about the 9, but those are some of them. So those are some of the key elements of the 9 personal year. And yet, if you are also a 9 life path, or if the 9 shows up as one of your core numbers in your chart, that can also pull that aspect of your character to the front of the line. So it's a really fun thing to know that about the personal year and how you can even make even more and set more intentions around what you're doing and how you're doing it during the year. So if you don't know your life path number, it would be a little odd if you're watching this video that you don't know your life path number. And yet if you're new to numerology, you stumbled on this and you don't know, I would strongly suggest that you go to the description box below. You can head over to my website, feliciabender.com. There's a life path calculator there. There's also a personal year calculator there. But the life path will give you your life path number, put tons of free information about the life path over at feliciabender.com. And if you also want to, you already know your life path number, but you're even more curious and want to take a deeper dive into what are these core numbers that I am referring to, you can also get a full numerology profile at feliciabender.com, where you can get a fuller engagement with not only your life path, but your other numbers that are very significant in your numerology profile, and give you a whole bunch of information about what you're doing, about why you're here and how you're going to go about it. So with that said, let's get right into the 9 personal year forecast for March. And it is a 3 personal month for you. I've done the math for you. Trust me on that. It's a 3-month. So you get an overlay of 3 energy during the month of March for these 4 weeks, right? All right. So what does that mean? What is that going to bring to the table for you? It is a month to express yourself and have some fun doing it. Okay, please, fun, socializing, just taking things a little more playfully, a little lighter this month is really going to be what you're encouraged to do with the energy of March. There's a lot of beautiful healing energy ready for you in March as well. The challenge of that buoyant, creative, and emotional number 3, which is the vibe for you for these 4 weeks, has to do with bridging emotions up and to the surface. And this can come out in surprising ways right now. It's really interesting with the 9 personal year. You can be going along, and then suddenly there's like this really intense emotion that can come forward, and it's like you don't even know where its locus is or what it's coming from. And yet I would encourage you to really roll with that and not indulge in it and go down the deep dark rabbit hole, and yet allow that to yourself to feel it and to express it. So you may find that some issues you thought you dealt with, like dead, done, and gone, right? You're like, bye-bye. Bye, Felicia, right? They're coming up again. Sorry to break it to you, but they're going to come up again, and they need to be processed, reprocessed in a different way rather than deal with it like an unwanted house guest, right? Or something like that. Take this opportunity to really dig into the guts of that emotional issue that resurfaces. It is coming up for a reason, and sometimes it just keeps recurring so that it can diminish and diminish and diminish and then finally disappear, right? So you may have some experiences that challenge your ability to speak your truth and be heard in a way that you find most satisfying or gratifying in the world. So in many ways, this month supports you as you express, as you communicate, and when you have fun doing it and treat it like an exploration or an expedition. So you can think about this in 2 different ways. It can be about career and what you're doing work-wise, and to infuse that creative juice into that. And then it can be in your private personal dealings. It can be about expressing your emotional wants and needs and being heard, and also listening to others, okay? So there are a few options as to how the 3 is coming up. You can be handed an opportunity that you've been waiting for to get that creative project seen and heard. It may be scaring the bejesus out of you, right? And yet you're oh so ready to jump on it with your heart and soul. But there may be a little self-doubt, there may be some things going in there, but that may come up for you to move through and to catch that ball and run with it rather than drop it and sit in the corner and then wish that you had done it. Do it. Okay, so maybe a wave of grief about the loss of a loved one that you experienced a while back. Maybe you thought you were all done with that, right? All done with that grief stuff. Maybe it shows up for you in a rather uncomfortable or surprising way, or perhaps you experienced what would have been a trigger for your grief or remorse in the past, and this time it kind of feels all right? So you can have these different experiences with this. And sometimes you're like, ooh, that would have really broken me down in the past. I heard the song on the radio that reminded me of my past relationship. And usually it would put me in a bad mood all day, or it would make me cry or whatever it was. And you hear the song that comes on and you actually, I don't know, you kind of go, I don't know, I kind of still like that song. And it doesn't trigger that in me. And you suddenly realize that you no longer place such deep feelings or sad or negative connections to a certain person, event, or experience. So perhaps something that places the spotlight on a problematic pattern or addictive tendency comes into play and you feel it's time to look that in the eye and actually deal with it, that can be happening in a 9 personal year. And when that 3 energy comes up to punch those issues up to the surface, it can come up. And it's not negative. It's something that is going to be ultimately positive, even though it can be a rough patch to go through it. So rather than avoidance, denial, defensiveness, you suddenly realize that you've got to take control of this because it's currently taking control of you instead. So there can be some of these aha moments that come in with that. There are a lot of ways that the emotional currency of the number 3 can pop in and out during this month of March for you. So while the primary energy right now holds promise for some fun, some lighter activities, it's up to you to cultivate that creative juice, to act on it, to find your joy, to really engage in with playfulness and do things that seek out things that bring you enjoyment, right? That is what the 3 is asking you for in March. I would also say to watch your words because they pack more of a punch when a 3 shows up, and a 3 is showing up for you in March. So as Don Miguel Ruiz maintains in his book, The 4 Agreements, this is the time to truly be impeccable with your word and with your words. If you haven't read that book, that's a good one. So I would strongly suggest, and it's a short read, but a powerful one that you can keep going back to again and again. So you are coming out of hover mode though. So it's really time to breathe a sigh of relief as a new wave of energy comes your way. March is self-improvement time. So anything that you can do that falls into that category is right in play. Take this time and enthusiastically jump in. It's time to kind of shake things up and try something new. So if the opportunity presents itself, particularly during the week of March 20th, to take a short vacation, open yourself to new experiences, that would be right in line with the energy of your 3 month. However, that might show up for you. It could be a weekend thing. It could just be a day trip. It could be that you join the hiking group. Maybe you sign up for that ceramics class or finally hit the dance floor again. Any of those things is right in tune with the energy that you are working with this month. You might find that you have some opportunities to do some writing, to present some of your ideas to a larger audience, maybe tap into your performance or entertainment talents. I don't know if you're a podcaster or if you're someone who goes and is interviewed on podcasts. Those can come up and have special significance for you in the month of March. So allow yourself to make use of any and all creative, inspiring, or imaginative ideas you have right now. See, just say yes. Say yes to spending time in smaller gatherings with family members, close friends, probably around March 12th or the 18th. You may have to deal with a few little disagreements, maybe misunderstandings between March 3rd and the 15th, perhaps involving close friends or family members in that way. So unless these matters are handled with some care, right, just a little TLC, they could lead to some additional disruptions or eruptions in the months to come and eventually maybe shift the relationship again. Not bad. We're talking 9 personal year here. These things are catalysts for certain aspects to fall away, right? So that's the undercurrent that we're always dealing with in that 9 personal year. So this year is a rather grand transition. I'll remind you again, the end of that 9-year cycle that you have been engaged with for the last 8 years, right? You're into that 9th year, and it's all about reflection, all about transformation. This is the long game, so pace yourself. You'll be required to walk away from certain things in your life this year, but don't push it. You're not going to just, catapult to the end. You got to walk through it. It all needs to ripen, and the things that need to fall away will fall away, often without even your direct intervention. It will all happen. So this is the first of 2 3 personal months for you this year. That's a pretty awesome thing, actually. The next one is in December. So you close out your year with this same kind of festive, creative 3 energy. So it'll be fun to see if there are repeating themes or issues or anything that extend from this month and play out in December. So there'll be some times where you will be faced with the decision to hold on or to release. So overall, things focused on engaging your playful spirit are favored this month. So really dive in with some gusto. I would just say enjoy, have fun, be playful. And I always say that the mantra for the 3, which is the energy you're in all month in March, is when you're laughing, you are learning. So that is your forecast for March. Wishing you a happy spring. I know we're all ready for it. At least I know I am. So I'm looking forward to meeting up with you next month, right here, same time, same channel, for your April forecast. In the meantime, really enjoy this month, and I will see you back here then.